どうやって信頼を伝えるのかとか、全部ツインホーンズのみんなが教えてくれた。みんなとの出会いが私を少しずつ変えてくれた。今でも時々怒られるけどね。あんたはどう？
僕は。
Oh man. Oh man, oh man. The beginning after the end, episode 12. So here's the thing, it's over. It got a season 2. A season 2 is coming, whether you like it, whether I like it, whether the author likes it or not. Season 2 is coming for beginning after the end. But I'm man, it's such a hard thing for me because I love the source material so much. Like, the story is so good. It's one of the few stories kind of like Solo Leveling that I'm actually like fully caught up with. Like, at this point, you know, Solo Leveling's done, the after story's done. At this point, beginning after the end, there's another one that I'm caught up with that it's called I want to master this family. And then I think there's like one more that I am like all caught up with, where they're currently at like manga state or whatever. But I rarely have the time to just sit there and, you know, read. But this is one of the stories that so captivated me that the other one's like a Bloodhound anime, yeah, or a Bloodhound manga, really good too. Anyways, this is one of the few stories that really captivated me to the point of like really keeping up with. And a lot of people compare this to Mushoku Tensei, and it really isn't like that at all, right? I think Rudy and Art are different, the stories are different, timelines where they came from, everything is drastically different. So, but I think that as far as quality of story, I think that's where the conversation can start of Mushoku Tensei and beginning after the end, and the heavy inspiration it took from that, and the level of quality. I think that's where the conversation is. And for me, beginning after the end really is that. And, you know, really, I say if you liked it a little bit and you have the time, if you can find the time to read the source material, or, you know, watch like a recap on YouTube, or maybe you have the time to, like, you know, audiobook or something. If you have the time to get into the story, I think that is where this thrives. Now, episode 12, the only thing I felt was happiness that it ended. This episode was really rough, and this was one of the first times, and it sucks that it happened at the end, but this is one of the first times that I kind of paused the episode like 3 times. One was to go get some food, and then the second and third time was like just to like doom scroll on TikTok for like a little bit, because like the episode was just it was so bad and it was so boring. And the other part of it is they're doing a bad job of depicting Art. And in the source material, you never really think about it too much of his age. But in the anime, because they've done such a poor job of adapting and telling the story, I find myself heavily focusing on he's a little boy. You know, he's 9 years old. And he's a baby child. Like, when they say, oh, those are kids, you know, typically adventurers mean like, oh, they're kids. They're like 15, you know what I mean? Like, they're kids. He's 9. Like, he's been around. He's been living for 9 years. He's a baby. So that's insane. And they depict him as, you know, saving the Flamesworth ninja girl and defeating this and doing all this. But he's 9, you know? And he ended up fighting the AA class instructor guy for the Adventure Guild. And that fight is supposed to be pretty good, but they have him like start off and then it cuts to black, and then they show you the fight like in little drips with like flashbacks, and it looks like hot doo-doo, and you can't even get a grip with how good the fight really was because they drip feed it to you in form of a flashback, so that immediately ruins the fight. And then they have Art have like this learning curve, and they keep showing his past form of himself, which I can't remember in the source material if they did that or not, but it's not good. And even when he's fighting the boar, he's like, you know, his past self and his current self are like talking at the same time, like, I don't like it. Look, it's really bad. It's really bad. So I thought that was doo-doo. And then they show us these other kids, but they're much older than Art, but then Art looks the same age as them. Like they're obviously not 9. They're more teenage age. But then they show them like they're the exact same age. And then let's say they are. Okay, let me just put that out there. Let's say they are the same age. Let's say they are also somehow 9 or 10 years old, part of the elf tribe and part of the dwarf tribe. Let's say they are like children, like Art. Let's just say they are. Then because they were so talented, because they also ended up being B rank like Art, because they're so talented, it kind of removes the specialness of Art. If there's these other kids on par with him that are the same age, that are kind of doing the same thing at the same skill level as Art, it removes that specialness of RMC. Now, obviously, they're not, right? They're much older, but they keep depicting Art as the same age. And then he's with Flamesworth, and he's saving her. He's princess carrying her in mid sky, but he's like the big. He like the little itty bitty baby, little baby. He like little itty bitty baby. Even if he's tall for a 9-year-old, he's still a little itty bitty baby. But they have him like princess carrying her. But then later on, they show him at the end of the episode, right after the credits roll. They show him next to her, and she's much significantly taller than him. Although this whole time she hasn't been. It's been like only a little bit. But yeah, they aged him up, 2 or 3 years. Let's say he's 12 or 13 now. So they aged him up at the end of the show to lead us into the next season. But yet he hasn't grown any. It's just real weird stuff, And then his mask, they don't really cover his mask a whole lot and the purpose and what it does. They go into they don't really cover that. If you know, you know, but it doesn't matter because they don't cover it in the show. The only thing that was fun about everything was, again, towards the end of the it was either right before the credits or maybe before it was either right before the credits or maybe it was in the after credits. But one of the only really kind of like fun things that I personally thought was at the end they had Tess, Tess, she was there peeking with like a, I don't know, I keep wanting like a ball, like a magic ball, and she was spying on him about, being all mad that, he's all happy with this other girl or whatever. I thought that was a really cute thing. I think that might be anime original, but like I thought that was a cool thing. And then Varian comes in, he's like, oh, don't be he doesn't get it that she's like into art, but he's like, don't be jealous of his progress, make your own. He's like, here's some book of, I don't know, she just sent her to school or something like that, but that's not what it is. She was jealous because he was with another girl. But anyways, it's hard to say. I don't think I'm gonna be back for season 2. If I cover it, maybe I'll cover it on the other channel, but like I really I don't know if I want to watch any more beginning after the end. Like I was trying to be positive throughout the season, and several of my reviews I said like, hey, they didn't quite nail it, but it was still pretty good. After episode like 6, my positivity like it was up, like I it was up here, and then every episode my positivity has just gone down and down and down and down. And yes, part of it is ugly animation and Studio 𝐒𝐴𝐶, but the other part is like just their decisions and their writing and their bad adaptation choices, and it's just been rough. So anyway, I'm glad it's over. I don't know if I'll be back for season 2. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below, my friends. As always, I appreciate you guys being here. One love, much love. Peace out. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the summertime. Show me some love. Hit the like button. I'll check out my summer videos. I'll see you in the next one, my friends. Peace.